Hi and welcome to my English channel. Are you learning English? That's awesome. Let's learn English together through some exciting stories. But first, tell me, which country are you watching from? I'd love to know how far this message has reached. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's get started.
Once upon a time, there lived a poor man and his beautiful wife in a small village. They didn't have much money, but their hearts were full of love. Every morning, the husband went to work in the fields, while his wife stayed at home, cooking, cleaning, and waiting for him to return. Life was simple, but they were happy. They never argued or complained. They smiled at each other every day and thanked God for the little things they had. Next to their small house, there lived a rich and handsome man. He had gold, servants, and big farms, but he didn't have love in his heart. When he saw the poor man's wife, he was amazed by her beauty and kindness. "How can such a beautiful woman live in that poor house?" he thought. "She deserves more, she deserves me." From that day on, the rich man could not stop thinking about her. He wanted her for himself. He watched her from his window, trying to find a way to talk to her. In his mind, he started to plan how to steal her heart from her husband. Meanwhile, the poor man and his wife continued their peaceful life, not knowing what was coming. Their love was strong, but temptation was near. The story begins here, a simple love between two people soon to be tested by greed, lies, and desire. One day, when the poor man was working hard in the fields, the rich neighbor came to visit his house. He knocked on the door and smiled politely. The poor man's wife opened the door, surprised to see him there. "You are such a beautiful woman," the rich man said softly. "But why do you wear such old clothes? A woman as lovely as you should have fine dresses and shiny jewelry. Doesn't your husband love you enough to buy them for you?" The woman was silent. She didn't know how to answer. Her husband was kind and loving, but yes, their clothes were old, their food was simple, and they were poor. The rich man saw the doubt in her eyes. Every day, he returned with more sweet words. "If you were my wife," he said, "I would buy you the most beautiful dress in the land. I would cover you in gold and make you the happiest woman in Ethiopia." At first, the woman ignored him. But as days passed, his words began to echo in her mind. "Why doesn't my husband buy me new clothes? Maybe he doesn't care about how I look," she thought. Slowly, her heart began to change. That night, when her husband came home tired from the fields, she looked at him and said, "My clothes are old and ugly. I want something new." Her husband smiled gently. "You don't need new clothes," he said. "You are already the most beautiful woman in the world to me." But his wife frowned. "You don't love me," she said sadly. "If you did, you would buy me a new dress." The poor man's heart ached. He loved his wife deeply and wanted her to be happy. "I don't have much money," he thought, "but I will do it for her." The next day, he went to the market and used his little savings to buy her a beautiful dress. When he gave it to her, her eyes shone with joy. "Thank you, my dear husband," she said happily. "Now I know that you truly love me. After the woman received her beautiful dress and her husband's gentle love, she was happy for a while. But happiness did not last long. The rich neighbor still could not give up. He wanted her for himself, and he was ready to use even more clever tricks. Every few days, he came again with gifts and charming words. One afternoon, he brought a small box filled with gold jewelry, shiny necklaces, and sparkling rings that caught the sunlight. "Look at these," he said softly. "They are made for a woman as beautiful as you. But tell me, where is your gold? Has your husband ever given you something like this?" The woman shook her head. "No," she whispered. The rich man smiled. "If he truly loved you, he would. A man shows his love through golden gifts, not empty words. Leave him, marry me, and I will make you the most beautiful woman in all the land." At first, she refused again. "Go away," she said firmly. "My husband loves me, and I love him." But the rich man did not stop. Every day he returned, saying the same things, showing the same shining gold. And slowly, doubt began to grow again in the woman's heart. "Why doesn't my husband buy gold for me? Maybe he doesn't love me enough," she thought sadly. That evening, when her husband came home after a long day of work, he found no dinner waiting for him. "My dear," he said softly, "why haven't you cooked today?" She crossed her arms and said coldly, "You don't love me. If you did, you would buy me gold, necklaces, rings, something beautiful." Her husband looked at her with worry and pain. "But I spent all my money on your new dress," he said. "I have nothing left." Still, he could not bear to see her unhappy. "Maybe my brother can help," he thought. The next day, he went to his brother and asked to borrow some money. "I will work in your fields until I repay you," he promised. With the borrowed money, he bought gold jewelry and brought it home. His wife's eyes filled with joy. "Now I know you truly love me," she said, putting on the shining gold. For a short time, peace returned. But the rich man came again, his voice full of poison. "Your husband gave you clothes and gold," he said, "but those are not real proofs of love. Real love creates miracles. If he truly loves you, he can make miracles for you. I can, because my love is strong. Leave him, and I will show you real miracles." The woman's eyes widened. "Miracles?" she asked. "Can my husband do that?" "Of course not," the rich man replied confidently. "Only I can. Love can make miracles, and I will make them for you if you promise to love me." The woman didn't answer, but his words stayed in her mind. That night, when her husband returned home, she looked sad and distant. "What's wrong, my dear?" he asked. She sighed deeply. "You don't love me," she whispered. "If you did, you would make a miracle for me." The poor man was shocked. "A miracle? But I'm only a man, not God." "Who told you such a thing?" "Our neighbor," she answered quietly. "He said that love can make miracles." The poor man's heart sank. He finally understood the truth. The rich neighbor wanted to destroy his marriage. He went out into the night, knelt down under the stars, and prayed, "O Lord, help me. I love my wife. I don't want to lose her. Please help me make a miracle." The next morning, the poor man walked slowly to his brother's field. His heart was heavy, and his mind was full of worry. As he worked, he kept thinking about his wife's words, "If you love me, make a miracle." He moved stones one by one, feeling weaker with every step. At last, he stopped under a big tree to rest. There, sitting in the shade, was an old man with kind eyes and a long white beard. "Good day," the stranger said. "Why do you look so sad, my friend?" The poor man sighed. "I love my wife," he said, "but a rich neighbor wants to take her from me. He says that if I really love her, I must make miracles. I'm only a poor man. How can I do that?" The old man smiled gently. "Perhaps God sent me to you," he said. "I am a wizard, and I can give you something special." He reached into his bag and took out 2 wooden sticks. "These are magic," he said. "With the first stick, you can turn a person into a donkey. With the second, you can turn them back into a human again." The poor man's eyes grew wide. "Really?" he asked, amazed. The wizard nodded. "Use them wisely. Miracles can teach lessons, but they can also punish greed." The poor man thanked him with all his heart. "God has heard my prayer," he whispered. He ran home, holding the 2 sticks tightly in his hands. When he arrived, his wife was standing at the door. "Husband," she said, "did you bring me a miracle?" "Yes," he answered with a mysterious smile. "Come outside. I will show you." Curious, the wife stepped forward. The poor man raised the first stick and gently touched her shoulder. Instantly, a bright light flashed, and in a moment she was gone. In her place stood a donkey, looking around in surprise. The donkey tried to speak, but all that came out was a loud hee-haw. The poor man couldn't help laughing. "Now that's a real miracle," he said. Then, taking the second stick, he touched the donkey again. In an instant, his wife reappeared, standing before him, frightened, confused, and speechless. "Oh, husband," she cried. That was a real miracle. How did you do it?" The poor man smiled calmly. "I prayed to God," he said. "He heard me and sent help. Now, do you still believe that rich neighbor? Do you still think he can make miracles?" Her face turned red. She looked down, ashamed. "No," she whispered. "I was foolish. I listened to his lies. You are the one who truly loves me. You worked hard for me, you bought me clothes and gold, and now you made a miracle, not for pride, but because of love." Tears filled her eyes as she held her husband's hands. "Please forgive me," she said softly. "I will never doubt you again." Her husband smiled warmly. "I forgive you, my dear. Love must be stronger than lies." That evening, for the first time in many days, peace returned to their small home. The wife cooked a delicious meal, and they laughed together as the sun set behind the hills. She knew now that true love needed no gold, no fine clothes, and no magic, only trust and a faithful heart. The next morning, the poor man gave his wife the first magic stick and said quietly, "My dear, today I must go back to the fields. If our rich neighbor comes again, you know what to do." Then he hid the second stick, the one that could turn a donkey back into a man, in the roof of their house. After her husband left, the rich neighbor appeared at the door, smiling as always. "Good morning, my beautiful lady," he said smoothly. "Has your husband made any miracles yet?" The woman looked at him calmly. "Yes," she said. "He has. And now I can make them too." The rich man laughed. "You? Oh, really? Show me then." Without another word, she lifted the first stick and touched him on the arm. In an instant, a bright flash appeared, and where the rich man had stood, there was now a donkey, shaking its head and braying loudly. The woman smiled. "Now you can help my husband in the fields," she said. She took the donkey by the rope and led it to her husband. When the poor man saw the animal, he laughed with joy. "Ah, that's a fine donkey. Now we can work faster," he said. He didn't tell anyone who the donkey really was. From that day on, the donkey carried heavy loads, moved stones, and helped the poor man earn more money. With time, the couple became richer and more comfortable. Years passed. The donkey grew old and weak. One evening, the poor man looked at it and felt pity. "He has worked long enough," he said softly. He went inside and brought out the second magic stick, the one that could turn a donkey back into a man. Gently, he touched the donkey's head. In a flash of light, the rich neighbor appeared again, but he was no longer young or handsome. His back was bent, his hair was gray, and his eyes were full of shame. "You tried to take my wife from me," said the poor man calmly. "That was wrong. Go home now, and never look at another man's wife again." The rich man bowed his head. "Forgive me," he whispered. Then he walked away, never to return. From that day on, the poor man and his wife lived happily and peacefully. They worked together, shared everything, and never forgot the lessons they had learned. Their love grew stronger than ever, honest, simple, and pure. Message: true love doesn't need gold or miracles. It lives in loyalty, trust, and kindness. The beauty of love shines brighter than any jewelry, and those who are greedy and deceitful will always face the consequences of their own actions.
Thank you so much for watching this story. If you enjoyed it and learned something new, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Maybe they need a little reminder to be brave and kind too. And if you love stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Every week, we share new English stories that are simple, beautiful, and full of life lessons. Stories that help you learn English naturally while touching your heart. Remember, learning English doesn't have to be hard. It can be peaceful, meaningful, and fun, one story at a time. So, see you in the next video, and until then, keep learning, keep smiling, and keep being kind.